everyone, it's Daphne from Scrap and Crate, and we are working on page 2, and this is a mini album featuring House of Roses. Okay, so we are on page 2, and again, if you haven't seen the second video tutorial in this series, it's the base album build, so we should be building everything on top of a pocket page. This is page 2. It's a very simple page. We've got a 4 by 9 inch piece for pocket, and then a 6.5 by 8 inch flap. For the 4 by 9, you're going to score a 1/2 inch on 3 sides, so you'll wind up with a 3.5 by 8 inch pocket. And then on the top piece, it's 6.5 by 8. You're going to score a 1/2 inch on the 6.5 inch side. And all of these are going to get adhered to the very edges of the page. So the large flap is going to go top down. Okay, and then the pocket is going to go on the bottom. And it's just going to get adhered right to the edge of the pocket page. Actually, okay, there you go. So you have a top flap and a bottom pocket, and then this is going to be one of those where we're going to use a card to keep it closed, or a tag or something like that. So there's going to be, actually I'm planning on using 2 large graphic 45 ivory tags, and there'll be 2 in this pocket, and then when we repeat this page we'll use 2 more. Okay, so that is going to be like so. These tags will come out, this will flip up, and then we still have this pocket. Okay, so that's page 2. That's all the features for page 2. When I come back, I'll have the designer paper ready. All right, everybody, I've got page 2 lined up, and if you recall from a little bit earlier, we're going to have tags in this page that are going to hold everything closed. And I've got my tag stuff trimmed out, but let's get the main papers in. This is from the 12 by 12. This is from the 8 by 8. I'm gonna have to double check, but I think this is 12 by 12, 8 by 8. So let's see. Is that right? I'm checking. 8. Yes, that's right. So 12 by 12, 12 by 12. These 2 pieces are 12 by 12, 8 by 8, 8 by 8, and yeah, that's it. That's all the papers. And then what I used to cover the tags are whatever I had left over. So some of it's 12 by 12 and some of it's 8 by 8, and I'll try to point that out as I cover the tags, just so you know. Okay. Let's start with this guy, and because there's no color blocking on this page, I was able to dry fit and ink it off screen, so you guys don't have to sit through that. Okay, once again, this piece down here with the birdie on it is from the 12 by 12. Generally speaking, it's pretty easy to tell the difference between the papers. It gets difficult for me as I go along because even though I'm building one page at a time, I've got everything cut out for the whole book before I even start recording. So I can't go back to my uncut papers and do sort of scale comparisons. So if you guys are building as you go, you still have papers left, so it's very easy to go back to the 8x8 or the 12x12 and see what the scale is and determine which packet came from. But I'm going to try to do a better job of that anyway, but just so you know, it is a little challenging for me because of that reason. Everything is already cut up. And this time when I went and trimmed everything out, I did something a little different. As I was trimming and I had scraps off papers, I created two piles, an 8x8 pile and a 12x12 pile. So even as I was going and trying to use some of the scraps, I was trying to keep track of what size book it came from so I could share that with you. This is my first attempt to do a better job at that. So you guys bear with me. I don't know how successful I'm gonna be, but I'm trying. And of course you don't even have to use the same papers I use. It's just, if you're trying to build it exactly the same, I'm trying to be better about giving you that information. Twelve by 12, 8x8. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back and look at one of my. So I'll show you what I mean. So here's all my scraps from the 8x8. I just put them in a little folder. And then these are my scraps from my 12x12. So now I'm gonna go back and try to find this pattern and verify which size packet came from, but I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. So here's a little strip from the 8x8 so you can see from a scale perspective, this is from the 12x12. So consider that confirmed. And it's going to go in like this, and I think that makes for a nice continuous flow. So it looks like I've already got it trimmed out. Just dry fitting it one more time. Actually, let me take a little bit off the edge. A little bit. A little tight. Okay, I just wanted a little bit more of a margin border. Left to right, and it's going to go in just like so. You'll notice that this is kind of a simple album in terms of the flaps and interactive pieces, and that is because I'm working with the Stamperia, and the Stamperia comes 10 sheets per pack. So you wind up having to buy a ton of packs to get, you know, the level of interaction that you see in my graphic albums, which, by the way, it still winds up being a little bit less expensive. 4 packs of Stamperia is going to be less expensive than a bundle, but you also get considerably fewer sheets. So that's part of the reason why I've kept it pretty simple, because I just don't have a lot of sheets, and I thought 4 packs is a lot already. So that's where I stopped at. Okay. Okay, that is in, and now I've got these 2 tags, and I'm using the large tags, and it turns out that 2 of the pieces that I want to use are a little short, so I've cut 2 ends off to extend them, and then 2 of them, oops, here it is, I was going to say, and 2 of them I happen to have scraps that were long enough. So I think these are going to be the back, and I want these to be the front, like so. Okay. So I'm going to, and then, you know, if you've used graphic tags before, I'm going to set this aside. There's a grommet, so there's really a front and a back. This is the front. It lays a little flatter on the back. So make sure you've got the pattern that you want on the front side of your tag. Excuse me. Okay, and as you can see, I trimmed these out, and they're way too big. So I just wanted to have excess, and then I'll trim these down just to fit perfectly. But let's go ahead and get the rest of the large pieces in. And I'm using the Graphic 45 large tag die and large tags. And if you click on the description, or if you look in the description, there's always a little show more, and if you click on that, the first thing you'll see is the material list. So if you want to know what I'm using, the details will be there. That'll include the tags, the dies, the flowers, the papers, the tape, everything that I'm using that we sell will be in that list. And then if you keep scrolling, you'll see the cut list for this album. But you're also going to see it in the banners on the video itself. So, by the way, if you ever see an inconsistency between the cut list, what's written in the description, and what goes across the banner and what I'm saying, by all means, please send me a comment, because I will fix it. I hate it when that happens, but it does happen. So send me a comment and I'll get it fixed. I go back over my videos, but as you know, it's really hard to edit your own stuff because you hear what you want to hear and not what you're actually saying. It's kind of like when you read your own stuff, you read into it, and you can read past your own error over and over again. Editing videos is very much the same thing. You can hear what you want to hear. Not what you're actually saying, but what you think you're saying. And I really appreciate it, and so do the rest of the viewers, right? Nobody wants to waste paper or get frustrated. Okay, now we've got this last little piece that we're going to add onto the bottom. And I'm breaking my own rules. Usually I cut the small piece first and then, or get the small piece on, and then if I need to trim anything, I trim off the large one. I'm breaking my own rules. But it is what it is. Okay, let's see how we did. Lovely. Okay, I did it. We'll do that one more time. It'd be nice if I can pull it off twice, but we'll see. And I'm not sure what size this came from. I think it's from the 12 by 12, but basically I was just looking for a solid strip, so the green or the pink would have worked here, either one. I should have dry fit this first, but we're just gonna throw caution to the wind. And look at that, just like downtown. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, so that is done. So now I'm gonna pull back in page 2, and you can see these tags are gonna slide right in, like so, and that is the end of page 2. So I'm gonna walk you through it. So here's our tags, front and back. And then this opens up to the top and we have all this photo space. That's page 2.